Swim, bike, run. Simple. But is it? When you're attempting to swim 3.8 Ks, bike 180 Ks, and run a full marathon, all in under 9 hours, it can get a little complicated, and small matters become major factors. So how do you plan all the equipment, logistics, and nutrition for a long day out in a triathlon? Fenella Langridge is one of the world's top triathletes. Third here at Challenge Roth 2 years ago, second last year, and this year she is hoping to get the top step of the podium. Actually, not hoping, planning. She is planning meticulously to get to that top step of the podium. So what does that planning look like? We're going to sit down with Fenella Langridge and she's going to take us through all of her planning and the meticulous detail she's gone to make sure everything's sorted for her race this year. Nothing is guesswork, nothing is left to chance. Every minute detail is considered. All right, Fenella, thank you for joining us. We're going to run through your entire race plan for Challenge Roth. And I think it's safe to say you've been planning for this race since you got second here last year?
Yeah. As an triathlete or as an athlete, I try not to think too much in advance because you don't really know what's around the corner. But for this race, it was definitely I had to come back and I had to experience it all over again, and I had to try and aim for that top spot.
Yeah, all systems go for the top step of that podium. Okay, let's run through your race plan. Now, you assume it's all meticulously planned out. So let's start even before the race has started. Race morning, what time do you wake up? How many hours before the race start? And then what's for breakfast?
So I want to try and eat at least 2 to 2.5 hours before.
Before a 6:30 a.m. start.
Yeah, so and then so I'll eat, and normally race morning it'll be rice with some honey, some banana, maybe a bit of bread if I can stomach it, with electrolytes, like 500 ml with a 1500 tab in there as well. Then I move on to some like mobility and activation, mainly I do that most mornings. So it's just a routine and it's in there and it's what I do.
Just not at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No. Normally the sun has risen and obviously there's a coffee in there as well.
Obviously.
To get me going, and what triathlete or athlete doesn't love a coffee? Hopefully the bowels are moving as I'm afraid,
Crossed, that's every athlete's hope, yeah.
We don't talk about it enough, but it definitely happens.
It's a thing, yeah. Okay, well, race morning is fairly standard. Then you're heading down to race morning. Warm up for the swim. Are you just swinging arms? You're not really allowed to get into the water here. You are allowed to get into the water, but it's a deep water start. So how much time do you spend in the water?
I think it would depend on the air temperature.
So there's a bit of a curveball at this one because it might be non-wetsuit for the pros.
Yeah. So if it's quite mild and warm, and I might get in a bit earlier and do maybe 5 minutes. But yeah, otherwise I might just do land warm-up, some activation, some poolside stuff, get those lats and rotator cuffs going, have a gel just before. I'll probably have 2 gels, so one 40 minutes and one 10 minutes before.
Okay.
Making sure I'm sipping on my electrolytes as I'm going along, and then that's the
Okay. Pretty standard, and then it's just gun goes and there's nothing more to think about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not exactly. Well, let's run through your actual race stuff that you've got here. So let's start with what you'll be wearing all day. Your suit still got a tag on it, I see here. So I'm assuming nothing new on race day is maybe not, but you've tested this suit.
Yeah, this is my spare one.
Okay.
Just in case something, I'm a bit OCD about that. I have spares of everything just in case zip breaks, you put a hole in your wetsuit, so this is a spare one.
So
but this is exactly the same as the one I have worn in the past.
So she won't be wearing any one race day. But this is a suit. How much has gone into this suit as far as testing goes and stuff? Have you spent some time running through where it chafes, if it chafes, all that kind of stuff?
So it's the same suit that I've been wearing for last year and then into this year. We've had a few modifications in terms of tailoring, so just making sure it fits better, and a slight change in material on the arm so it's more aerodynamic. Don't ask me what material, because I'm not a material specialist.
but it's not new on race day. Not,
no.
You don't do that. Don't wear a brand new suit on race day. Okay, this swim, you've got your wetsuit here, DHB, and you'll be wearing this clearly. I mean, it's got a few fingernail tears in it, so clearly she's worn it a few times.
I've worn this one a few times.
So, not a new wetsuit, she's definitely tested that out. What about the swim skin? How much time have you spent in the swim skin, if comes to actually having to wear this?
I've raced in this one in Kona, and I think most of my races last year were in a swim skin. So it's tried and tested. Again, it feels good for me. I keep my sleeves up underneath my wetsuit, and especially for this race. And I think as a strong swimmer, I'd love to be able to just go in there in my swimsuit and have that freedom. But the restriction from the suit is minimal, and I don't think I lose any time or much time in comparison. So I'm happy to swim.
Compared to the risk of not being able to get it up and over your arms.
I've seen so many mishaps and 20, 20, 30 seconds lost. And in this type of racing, those are the seconds that count and can make or break your race.
Exactly. Those matter. Okay, and then it's T1. I assume you've practiced everything, what you're going to do. This one's a little bit weird because you kind of have to run up and grab a little bag that you then have to put your swim skin or wetsuit in. And do you have anything in that bag?
You'll have your race number in that bag because your helmet has to be on your bike, which is slightly different. Normally, I guess you'd have your helmet in that first T1 bag. But for this race, helmet's on the bike, and you'll just have the race number in your bag. So swim skin, hopefully, off, into the bag, number out, running on, putting it on, and then straight to your bike.
Straight to your bike, flying mount.
Obviously, nailed that.
Yeah, you kind of have to, because it kicks uphill pretty
straight away
quickly.
uphill. Feet in shoes first time. I've been imagining it.
Fingers crossed that, she's done the visualization. Okay, cool. We're going to bring in your bike now, and we're going to talk through your bike. And like magic, here the bike is. Trek Speed Concept, and it is a good-looking bike.
Very happy with it.
look at the smile. She likes it. How much work has gone into this setup?
About 2 years worth of fiddling and twiddling and making sure things fit well and I'm comfortable on the bike.
Not just fiddling and twiddling, though.
Not
You've also
quite.
been to wind tunnel.
Yeah, so we've had 2 sessions in the wind tunnel, one last year and then again this year. The first time we mainly focused on the front end to angles, widths of elbows and bottle positions in between the arms. And then the second time we went with a little bit more focused on bottle positions and placements, and especially the back one, and also looking at calf guards, front mech, the obvious like disc versus non-disc. And I think we just went there to see the numbers, to see like how much you could gain on different types of courses and in different wind conditions as well.
And you've gone for a disc here.
Yeah, it's the obvious. I think if you can ride a disc, I think it is the obvious aerodynamic choice in all races.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, so your front end, you've got this Watch Shop bars with a special 3D printed bottle cage, which is pretty high, I must say.
Yeah.
Is that because that's the most aerodynamic position to have it that high, or is that so that you can get your elbows underneath it and really tight?
It's quite tight. It is. Oh, it's good for me. Most other people can't even get their arms in there, and they've tried. But I suppose it's comfortable and it's aerodynamics.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get to these bottles in a second. This bottle is pretty much only for the aerodynamics, right? You don't actually put anything in there on race day.
No, we don't normally. Well, the 100k distance and the 70ks we've done at the beginning of this year, we haven't used anything in there. And we probably won't for this race, there's enough.
But hidden underneath there is your spares.
So we've got if things come to it, there's spares that can go in here, and it's a great storage solution, and it's very efficient and clean, and yeah. Ooh.
And easy to get the bottle back into. She's got 28mm Schwab Pro 1 TT. These are prototypes, so you can't buy them. But they are Schwab Pro 1 TTs and 28mm.
And they match the bike.
And they match the bike. They've even got a little bit of blue trim on there. Perfect. She's thought of every detail here. I do like it. We're going to, your gearing, then, you've chosen. You've got a 1x on the front with a 1030 at the back. Was that an aerodynamic decision? Was that something you've tested on these hills here?
Yeah, so I would opt, if where you can, I'd opt always to run a 1x for aerodynamic reasons. And it's chainline efficiency. I actually almost think it takes that guesswork out of riding. You don't even have to worry about, oh, should I shift down or should I shift up, or when you have to do it. Yeah. So mentally, it's actually a lot nicer for me. And yeah, I've tested it on the hills, and although it was challenging when I was going slowly, I know when I'm actually in race mode it will be fine. And I've got enough gears at the back. I'm pretty light rider, and they are hills, but they're not mountains.
They're not mountains. Yeah, that is true. Okay, let's run through your nutrition plan then. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, and you do have to plan it. A lot of people just kind of have a loose plan and then kind of tweak it on the day. Yours is pretty dialed with your precision fuel and hydration sponsors.
100%.
So run us through what you've got. Before we do that, though, I'm just going to point out these very interesting bottles that she has here. They are precision fuel and hydration bottles, which look pretty standard, except they've got a little bit of surgical tube coming out of them. Essentially, that means you don't have to take them out of the bottle cage, right?
No, and I wanted a bottle that I could switch over easily, so that I didn't have to spend, say in the past or the first few Ironman races I've had a refillable front bottle with a straw. And it was good because it meant you could stay down, but the amount of time that you spent trying to put water in, half of it didn't ever go into the bottle, or it was just a bit of a faff and mess. So I wanted a bottle that I could stay down into aero position as much as I could, but also switch out as quickly and efficiently as I could. So,
Which is why the other one also has a straw in it, because of course you can't get your mouth to that bottle.
No.
But you can swap it quickly with this one, which spends a lot less time out of your aero position trying to squeeze a bottle into your... It's a pretty good solution. Have you patented this?
I think, well, as of now.
You saw it here first, don't steal the idea. Okay, so what are you having in these bottles? What gels, what's the combination? Is these gels and bars? What are you using in here? Where do you store your nutrition, and what is it?
So each bottle that I use will have 90 grams of carbohydrates in it. And then on the course, I'll be, with Roth especially, you can get given bottles at the end of each aid station.
By your personal seconder,
So by someone that you know, or someone that you've organised in advance. And each of them, so I'll have 5 bottles with 90 grams in each of those. And in my little special pouch here, I'll have 2 caffeine gels, around about 20 salt tabs, and a chew for when I just need something a little bit different. So I think that works out at about just over, or around about 100 grams of carbohydrate per hour with the gels and all the drinks, or it depends how fast I go. So hopefully,
and pretty foolproof too. Tried and tested, pretty foolproof. Hopefully Billy's practiced his bottle handovers, because that's pretty much the only problem I can see with this. With this is Fenella goes flying past while Billy is looking the other direction. But other than that, it's a pretty simple and foolproof nutrition strategy.
Yeah, so. You should have seen them in the logistical meeting yesterday. They have it all planned out, cold bottles, ice. And so we've got the plan. This is your personal logistical meeting with your personal team. She's planned every detail. There was some browbeating going on, I think, at that logistical meeting. Don't screw up my race. Okay, excellent. We're going to get rid of the bike now and go back to her run stuff. All right, the bike's gone, but there were a couple of things I forgot to ask Fenella. Firstly, there's this awesome helmet. Coloured in by
painted by Otimo Designs.
Class.
It is a Met drone with
Yes.
your name on it.
Yeah.
Anything specific as you test many helmets to choose this one, or and I assume you tested this also in the winter?
Yeah, we did test this one, and the UVEX and the gyro. But yeah, this one was fastest. It wasn't. There wasn't huge numbers in it, but I'd rather go with one, even if it's marginal. It's definitely worth it. So yeah, this
was the fastest one, Met drone. There you go. It's a nice looking helmet. We actually write Met drones. Okay, and then there's one other thing on your bike. Your tire pressure. Everyone talks about tire pressure, and you know it's important. It used to be like 120 psi that everyone rode. These days, what are your tire pressure for this race?
So it'll be between 65 and 70. I think I might push up more towards 70 because it's pretty slick.
Smooth roads
out here, and the weather's pretty nice. So
that's specific, 68 to 70 psi. Your job to do that, or is that?
I might get a little bit of help.
Someone else,
just to check that it's perfect, you know.
Okay, great. All right, and then T2, and you're slipping into your run stuff. Run shoes. On run shoes?
Yes, on run shoes. The new, well, they'll be released the 6th of July. But
Boom Echo 3.
Yes, these beauties here.
Nice. You like them?
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to racing them for just under a year.
So not released to you on the 6th of July. No, you've been running these for a while.
And we've been able to try through the different models as they've developed them. And yeah, this one's definitely dialed in and feeling good.
Looks good. It also actually says in their sample, not for sale.
Yeah.
This was a pre-one that you couldn't buy. These don't have, these ones still have their tag on, and they don't have elastic laces.
These are my spares.
Oh, these are spares again.
Sorry.
Elastic laces?
Yeah, so slightly different variation on the normal elastic laces I've tried and tested. Obviously, these elastic laces, so they just slip in
each of the eyelets.
Each of the eyelets.
Oh, right.
And it just, for me, I just find it a lot more comfortable across the top of my foot with less fabric and less movement.
So they come in different lengths, and you can pre-tension what eyelet you want.
Or how many.
Oh, right. Clever. Okay, not the elastic laces that you just yank in T2 and then you get a numb foot later on. Also been tested. Okay, and then let's run through nutrition for the run, because this is where nutrition often goes
out the window. No.
Out the window, yeah. Hopefully not. No. There is a plan. It's not just fly by the seat of your pants. So what is the plan?
So I'm gonna try and hit a gel every 20 minutes, and then again with like the bike aid station, someone can be there on the run at each aid stations to hand me fluids. So I'm going to have 3 or 4 chances where Bill can hand me 1,500 sachet of electrolytes, because I think as the day goes on, it's going to get hotter, and those electrolytes and water, because you've got to make sure you have it together, it's got to be really topped up. So that electrolyte balance or 3 or 4 times over the course of the run, along with gel every 20 minutes and a caffeine gel probably halfway and just before the end, as long as the stomach can manage it.
Okay, you don't have to carry much of that, because as you say, you can get personal secondary at the aid stations. But how do you carry? Is it just hands, or is it?
I've got little pockets in my tri-suit, or you're lucky enough to be a girl that can stuff it down my bra. It's not glamorous by the end of the run. There's stuff tucked up everywhere, but as long as it's going down, it's good to have.
Yeah, good. What's the backup plan? Is it Coke and water?
Yeah, I think at 10k to go, and I think
anything goes.
As long as it's staying down. Coke isn't off limits. I'm personally not a fan of Red Bull. It just reminds me of those uni days. But
enough said.
Yeah. So we're trying to avoid that. But yeah, anything goes at 10k to go, as long as you're consuming it.
So throwing the plan out the window in the last 10Ks is part of the plan. There you go, you heard it here. Well, thank you very much, Fenella, for joining us and taking us through all your meticulous preparations. We'll certainly be crossing the fingers that your meticulous preparations turn into success on race day, and you can convert that second place last year and one more step higher on the podium. We'll be watching, and what we're actually going to try and do is catch up with you afterwards.
Yeah.
Good or bad, and find out what worked and what didn't. And hopefully you'll be running us through how brilliantly your plan worked and how you won the race. So,
How we stuck to it, for sure.
You stuck to the plan until the last 10Ks, where the plan was to throw the plan out the window. Yeah, you heard it here. Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you after the race. Good luck. Good morning, Fenella.
Morning.
The race has been run and won, not by you, but 4th place. Very creditable day. Well done.
Thank you.
How's the body feeling today?
I'm moving okay. I think tomorrow might be slightly worse. Now it's just that hungover feeling where you want to eat everything. And
Yeah. Okay, so we went through your whole plan beforehand. How did things go? Were they stick to the plan?
Yeah, it was a solid day throughout. We had a few mishaps in the morning. My gears stopped working and then I lost power. So we were in a little bit of I tried to stay as calm as I could in those situations while Bill went off and tried to fix a solution.
When you say lost power, you lost your power meter?
Yeah, I lost the connection or the battery.
So you wouldn't have any power numbers all
Yeah.
day, but you managed to fix that.
Yeah, so I found out as I was running out to the bike, a kind volunteer shouted at me, "Your bike's okay."
Oh.
And I was like, what does that mean? And then I got to my bike and luckily, thank goodness, I had gears and I had power.
Okay.
I think
Cross
power I
stability.
could have dealt with, but not having gears,
Not having gears would have...
it would have been very difficult on this
That
course.
definitely was not in the plan.
No.
Well, leading the swim was in the plan, although you were hoping for non-wetsuit.
I was
and
hoping for
somehow
non-wetsuit.
managed to have a
And-
wetsuit.
And it was very warm, so a little bit questionable in the body.
Did you tweak your nutrition strategy a little bit with that? Did you drink more when you first got on the bike, or was that just...
I think I had a litre bottle on the front anyway to like front load and a bit more hydration. So no, it didn't change too much in
Maybe you
terms
just drank
of
that a little bit faster
Yeah, I
after
think I
that.
probably did, yeah.
And Daniela was on your feet, which was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I didn't realise. I knew someone was there, but I didn't know who it was. And I didn't realise until actually I didn't hear them shout her name as we were running out the water. So I didn't know it was her or that she was that close.
You
And
just
then until she
fast
overtook
forward.
me, and then I thought, okay, yeah,
Yep.
there she is. And there she goes.
Okay, and then you had a pretty dialed nutrition plan for the bike. Did you stick to it?
Yeah, the nutrition I stuck to, and I think the energy levels were constant throughout, which was really good. But I just didn't have that like 4th or 5th gear all day. I was stuck in a kind of an aerobic kind of feel where I couldn't quite get up to where I would like to be.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but it's just not what I was hoping for.
Any reason for that? You hadn't isolated that, or
I was quite ill 2 weeks ago when I was
Okay.
I had
possible explanation?
throwing up and other things. And so I just missed maybe that last couple of sessions that would have really helped me get that Ironman feel.
Yeah.
It could have been that, it could have been other reasons,
Yeah.
we don't know exactly. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't bad, but I think if I had felt how I felt last year or I have been feeling in like previous races, I could have been 4 or 5 minutes on a course like that.
Still, a
So,
4:41 bike, not too shabby.
Not too bad.
And then off onto the run. Was it hot?
Yeah, it was warm.
Yeah. You managed to stick to your nutrition strategy on that one?
Yeah.
Your hydration strategy?
The boys were, the logistics team were being excellent, going up and down the canal at every aid station, and we had quite a few bottles to hand out, and I made sure, I think it's the most I've drunk.
You got them all and you took it all in?
Yeah, and I think it showed with the well, my fastest marathon, so I
Yeah,
can't
sub
compare.
3 hour marathon.
Yeah, first time, so really
Well, an
happy.
8:33 finish time for an iron distance event would be very impressive. It is very impressive. Any time. I mean, unfortunately, there was someone in front of you going an 8:08, which is just one of those
It was
days.
ridiculous when you think about it, and I'm like disappointed, but then happy, and it's a mixture of emotions. I suppose it's still quite raw now, but in reflection, this race will go down in history, and men and women, and it's amazing to be a part of it.
You were there and you were definitely part of it. Yeah, well done. We are very impressed, and obviously executing a plan like that, as we saw, so many logistics went into it. So then putting it all together on race day, and you did that very well. So congratulations, and thank you so much for giving us an insight into what the pros have to do as far as logistics and planning and preparation go. It's been great to hear from you. So thank you, Fenella, and well done.
Well done too.
Thank you. Yeah, we won't go there. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up button to give it a like, and remember to subscribe to GTN to get all our content.